What's up guys, I'm River.
I'm Allison.
And together we run the daily vlogging channel, Riv and Al. Recently we took a trip that was a trip of a lifetime, actually for our honeymoon to Greece. On the trip we had such an amazing time seeing all of the beautiful things that Greece has to offer. We started our trip in Athens, Greece, made our way to Santorini, and then on to Crete, particularly the western end.
It was definitely an amazing trip that we will remember for our lifetime.
We started off the trip in Athens. Athens is packed with touristy things to do, but it's things that are definitely worth seeing. So this is a hugely densely populated city that is built on top of itself, kind of much like New York. We actually, driving in last night and even right now, are kind of getting vibes of when we were in Bangkok, Thailand. The first of which are all of the ancient Greek and Roman ruins, particularly the Acropolis. The Acropolis is the home of the Parthenon, a very, very important monument, arguably one of the interesting and most wonderful things in the entire world to see with so much history around us. Us as Americans, we had no idea how old or concept of how old these things were.
After visiting the Parthenon, we just walked around Athens to get a feel for the nightlife and ended up getting dinner at one of the many outdoor restaurants.
So we got an appetizer of what they call fancy feta or crunchy feta, which is essentially fried feta cheese with honey and sesame seeds. So good. Coming back from dinner was sort of interesting. We sort of got caught in a protest. Alright, you know, casual protest. I don't know what they're protesting, it's in Greek. It's all Greek to me.
The next day we went to the National Archaeological Museum.
It was so much fun. There is so much stuff to see there. It's actually the biggest single location in the entire world for ancient Greek artifacts. What always came through my head is this is like a 4,000-year-old statue, and what would someone that long ago and contribute to art? What about it would make someone be able to sculpt a depiction like that, and then 2,000 years later it looks like literally a mold of a human, like it's perfectly depicted. One thing about Greece to note is if you're going there is absolute terrible internet. Or at least where we went.
There are cats everywhere, so I was right at home.
Allison bending down in the middle of the restaurant, petting multiple cats. This is our life.
I said bye to the other one, and it sniffed my hand. I didn't pet that one, but it sniffed my finger.
How do you feel that you just cheated on your babies?
I didn't cheat on the babies.
Just like you did in Thailand with that other black cat.
That was a cute kitten. I'm making international friends for them. So if one day they want to travel.
After about a day and a half in Athens, we jumped on a plane and headed to Santorini. Santorini is a little island that is actually a volcano caldera. And let me tell you guys, it is one of the most beautiful places in the entire world. We arrived super early and actually had to drop off our bags because we weren't even allowed into our room yet, but met one of the nicest men in the world who happened to run our apartment complex that we were staying at, and he hooked us up. Can we just talk about this for a second, guys? Could we just talk about this? This is wild, and it's not even light outside yet. We got to enjoy amazing views of the volcano caldera and walking around the city, particularly Fira, before checking into our hotel. We checked out our awesomely cute little apartment with beautiful views. All out here. The next day, we had a very special event, a boat tour. A boat tour in the volcano caldera. We were so excited. But it was actually taking off from the town across the island. It was just a little walk.
That's not true. Google Maps led us astray, and what we thought was going to be a walk that was a little over an hour, just a nice kind of jaunt through Santorini, turned into a
4-hour nightmare.
Yes.
Luckily, we called a van that picked us up and took us to the port, which hooked us up with the boat and thus launched the most favorite part of our entire trip to Greece. this is something that you have to do when you go to Santorini.
While we were on the boat tour, we actually met a great couple from Australia that we then kind of hung out for the next day with and went to dinner and spent some time with.
Hi, Bernadette and Matt.
Hi.
The next day we rented an ATV, or a four-wheeler. We drove that thing everywhere, but it's super common on the island. In fact, most people don't even get around by taxis. They actually just walk or rent mopeds or ATVs, and went to a black stone beach. In Santorini, they have all kinds of beaches. They have red sand, white sand, black sand, and black stone beaches.
While we were at the Black Stone Beach, we did some swimming to kind of cool off from riding around all day, and River decided to do some cliff diving. Oh my God.
We drove around the island a bit more and definitely got lost. All right, we rode and we rode and we rode and we rode and we got nowhere. We definitely took a wrong turn somewhere, which is not surprising considering all the signs are in Greek. Santorini doesn't seem like it's that big, but definitely big enough to get lost.
For lunch, we decided to go to the famous Lucky's that has the best gyros in Santorini, if not all of Greece, and they are so good.
Check them out. After food, we stopped by and got one of the famous fish pedicures. Totally weird experience, and it tickled. The next day, we realized that we'd been on this trip for a week.
We then took our ATV to the Black Sand Beach, which was by far my favorite beach.
For dinner that night, we went to Oia, spelled O-I-A. There's such amazing views, and when you think of Santorini, you likely are seeing pictures of Oia. So much art, so much of the Greek culture, and beautiful sunsets. Probably our most favorite and beautiful sunset that we've ever seen in our entire lives. We actually took a ferry from Santorini to Crete. It only took about an hour, went super fast, and it was super nice. When we got to Crete, it was the middle of the night, and we actually had arranged for a rental car that we had to take for 2 hours to the western end of the island to a town called Chania. But when we got to the dock, the car and the driver was nowhere to be found. We actually thought that we were going to be screwed and left at the boat dock. But luckily, through the grace of a few locals and a quick phone call, we hooked up with the guy and he got us the car and we were on our way.
2 hours later, we arrived at a beautiful hotel in the ancient harbor of Chania.
If there was one reason that we would go back to Greece, it would be for the city of Chania in Crete. I couldn't highly recommend it more. We explored the ancient city through and through, got some of the best seafood that we've ever had, and even drove to all sorts of beaches and lagoon in our time in Chania. We took a boat tour that actually took us to Gromvosa Island, a place where there's all kinds of natural species of plants that only grow on that island in the whole world. In the same trip, we went to Balos Lagoon. Balos Lagoon is revered as one of the most beautiful lagoons and beaches in the entire world, and it did not disappoint. Say it's pretty believable why this is one of the best beaches in the world. This is probably my favorite beach in the world. This isn't reason enough for you guys to come to Crete. I don't know if I'll ever have a good enough reason for you guys to come to Crete.
The next day, we decided we would go to Elafonisi Beach, or the Pink Sand Beach. Little did we know that the drive there would be one of the most beautiful and scenic road trips we have ever taken.
We drove through gorges and valleys, through mountains, Driving on the side of cliffs and switchbacks, we had no idea when thinking of Crete that this is what we would see. All right, after like a 2-hour trip that we took our time on because of the windy roads, we have made it to Athens beach, and from the views coming down from the mountains, it looks like it's going to be spectacular. Beautiful day and awesome time at Athens beach. It's definitely one of my favorites as well. I mean, Belos Beach and Belos Lagoon actually, and that was awesome. And this beach has got to rank up there pretty high.
Yeah, this beach was really great. Water's really pretty. A lot of people, but didn't feel too crowded.
No, not too crowded. We got here at the perfect time.
Later that night, I made a couple more cat friends.
But there is so many homeless pets here. We have to be honest.
Really sad.
There's a lot of cats, a lot of dogs, and that like honestly breaks Allison and I's heart. So it's been tough to say the least the last few days.
In Greece, in Crete, and called them the family, which was a gang of cats that lived on the street where we were staying.
Apparently inhabits our street. There's a little kitten.
I'll bring him. It's okay. Hey, everyone be nice. That's all I ask. You are milking it right now.
Every street is not like this, okay? Like our street has a particular large concentration of cats.
It's the family.
Okay, so don't think that Crete is filled with cats this much, but
Hey.
she's a cat person and the kitty whisperer, so.
You do not hit your family. Milking it.
Let's go inside. After a day or so more, we actually headed back to Athens. We found a hotel that actually looked beautiful, but was actually not so great of a neighborhood. A neighborhood that was once very, very historic, but has recently fallen on rough times and is actually not recommended for tourists to visit. A vlogger's nightmare happened. We lost almost all of our footage before landing back in Athens. So the whole morning, we went around the entire city of Chania one last time, and we lost it all. At some point in the day, we lost footage. We lost a lot of footage.
After an evening in Athens, we had an early morning flight back to Switzerland and then on to Chicago, concluding our wonderful honeymoon and trip to Greece.
A trip we won't soon forget.
So no matter where you're traveling, there are a couple questions that you need to ask before you actually go there. First, is it safe? We can say that Greece is definitely safe, but like any city, you need to look up the areas that you're staying in and make sure that they're okay.
The next question is it expensive? Greece runs on the euro, and the euro normally runs pretty strong. In general, Greece is a very affordable place, but just like any place, in the more touristy areas, they will charge you more, and Santorini in particular was a little more pricey.
The last question you need to ask is, do you need a visa? Right now for Greece, you do not need a visa, but again, when you're traveling, and no matter where you're traveling, you need to look up the most up-to-date regulations to make sure that you don't have any uncomfortable incidents when you get there.
So thank you very much, you guys. We love and appreciate all of your views and engagement. We are daily vloggers putting out a new video every single day. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe.
In the description below, we will put links to everywhere we stayed and all the major activities that we did. We will also put links to all of our daily vlogs from our Greece trip, so be sure to check those out.
Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!